Hello, entrepreneurs. My name is Bimal Shah. I'm on a mission to make pioneers out of entrepreneurs by helping you achieve your 3 year goal in 1 year that's tied to your 25-year vision and 5 year moonshot. I do it through weekly sprints and 90-day leaps. This is the Pioneers Academy podcast, and I'm on a mission to make a million pioneers. And I thought this podcast channel will help you achieve your 3 year goal and jump to the next level. I'm going to be showing lots of training and lots of great episodes, so join on this podcast and get all the training and resources you need to achieve your 3 year goal in 1 year and make yourself a pioneer. I wrote 13 books, Becoming a Pioneer, and you can get all those 13 books on Amazon. We're going to give away to every listener who listens on this podcast a $100 Amazon gift card so you can get all the books and learn how to become a pioneer.
Hey, welcome back to the Pioneers Academy podcast, where we make pioneers out of entrepreneurs. I'm your host, April, and if ever you felt like your business has stalled or that you're constantly reacting instead of leading, today's episode is for you. And we're sitting down with Bimal Shah, an incredible business coach, creator of the Pioneers platform, and the author of the Becoming a Pioneer series, which now includes 12 powerful books. He just released book number 12, and it dives deep into one of the most overlooked but powerful tools for growth, which is resilience. So, we're going to unpack the three essential resilience system today that can help you move from frustrations to momentum, from stack to scalable. So, let's get into it. Hi, Bimal.
Hi, April. Thank you for having me here and excited to talk about today's episode. And also, book number 12 of the series is getting launched. So it should be live tomorrow. So, very, very excited to talk about the topic because it's the three essential resilient systems that any entrepreneur can use, and it's most essential. Yeah, the key word is essential. These are things that are essential. These are not just a topic to think about. This is something that you need to do. So, very, very excited to talk about it.
I am so excited also, Bimal, and congratulations on your latest book. Bimal, my question, what made you decide to focus this one entirely on resilience? What was the personal or business insight that sparked it?
When you're in business, ups and downs are normal. That's part of learning business, and that's part because nothing in business is a straight line. You never have a straight line. If you're having a straight line for a long time, there is something wrong, and something is expected to happen that could be surprise. So when resilience is that you're able to ride through that wave, you're able to ride through the ups and downs, and sometimes the downs are very, very strong, where you will feel like, okay, I'm back to square one or back to ground zero. And that is why resilience is so important in business, because with resilience you can thrive, you can adapt, you can pivot, you can change, you can learn, you can improve. The five key things that I did when during the pandemic that helped me thrive during the pandemic. So what I'm going to talk about is the three essential systems. And the three essential systems, I go very, very deep in the book. And each book is 4 chapters, and each book dives into helping you build a system. So every single book becomes your book. So it is not just my insight. I ask you, and you write in the book and you create your own systems. There's video training, there's workbook, there's tools, there's resources. So it becomes your own custom guide and breakthrough blueprint to help you make a pioneer. So the first thing is building no traffic roads. And I'm just going to go over the three essential systems. And the second one is going from ground zero to ground 100. And the third essential system is the five daily architects, because these are things that are required on a daily basis, that you have. These are the five architects, and once you have these five daily architects, you can actually overcome anything that happens throughout the day, because you never have a great day. You have to make it a great day. It's upon you to make it a great day, and things may not go as planned. They rarely go as planned, and it's upon you, and onus is upon you to make things happen for you. So these are the three things, and these are the three topics we're going to talk about today, and dive deeper into each one of those.
You, Bimal, and thank you for such an honest take that business is not a linear method or way. And it's a clear that you're not just teaching resilience, you've lived in it. So thank you for that. So also you have already mentioned these three essential resilience system in the book. So can you walk us through each of these resilience systems that you were talking about? What does it exactly this means and how entrepreneurs would start building this path?
So the first one is the no traffic road. So sometimes, the no traffic roads exist. It is upon us on how to take it. So for example, I'll share personal, experience that I have very often. I live in Boca and I have to drive to Miami, which is like 2 hours, when I have client meetings. So when I schedule the meetings, morning, what I do is I leave during the no traffic hour, which is like 6 a.m., 5:30 a.m., around that time, and I reach there in 30 to 40 minutes. And during normal rush hour, it's like 2 hours. So I save hour and a half and I go over there, finish my work, and I get a lot more done. And the meetings are also very productive because you're fresh and you have all the energy to make it happen. And you haven't encountered things yet in the middle of the day that could take the track of the day somewhere else. So that is, there are no traffic roads that already exist in your business, in your strategy. And this is just one simple strategy. Like this, there would be for marketing, for operations, for sales, for training, for hiring. There are these no traffic strategies and roads that already exist that you can just make a decision to take it and you will succeed. Now, there may be no traffic roads that don't exist that you have to build. And that is where you have to look beyond the horizon and see what is not being served, not what everybody else is thinking, but what everybody else is not thinking, what everybody else is not doing. So, for example, when I built a four leap system and I figured out a way that I could get a grant to pay for it, there was nobody else was doing that. And I thought of a way of doing it because that nobody else is thinking. And that's where the gold is. It's not what you know or what you don't know. It's what you don't know that you don't know. So that's where you put the focus on and you start building a no traffic road strategy. And once you build that strategy, you build the structure. So once you have a strategy, there needs to be a story behind it. Then you build a structure, and then you build an execution method that drives operational excellence, from beginning to end. So it takes time, when you build these things. When you build a no traffic road, it may initially take you time to do the work, but once you do it, it's it's smooth and easy. And that's the piece that many people don't want to take, is, oh, it's going to take a lot of time, I'll just continue doing what I'm doing so I can continue what I'm making. Well, that could be a danger, because what you think will continue may not continue, and then someone else is trying to disrupt what you're doing, and there are disruptors all around you. So don't be surprised that the your competitor is trying to disrupt you and you don't even know it. So it's better that you be the disruptor rather than your competitor, and that's where you try to build these no traffic roads.
That's a fresh perspective on avoiding the traffic jams most business owners find themselves in. The example that you mentioned a while ago. So I can see how that shifts the game, Bimal. So thank you for sharing that to us. And now many of our listeners feel stuck, even I myself, like they're starting from ground zero. So in your book, you mentioned and you also talk about a system that takes people from ground zero to ground 100 quickly. Can you break it down for us?
Absolutely, would love to. So, many times we feel like, okay, I'm back to square one, or I'm back to ground zero. I'm starting from scratch. And at that time, you feel hopeless. Like, okay, I don't want to do this. I don't have the time, energy, money, resources, to start at ground zero. But there is a system that allows you to go from ground zero to ground 100. I talk about this very deep, and you have four key aspects. You have the resilience, ignition. So the ignition is the spark. So for example, when you start a car, you put the key in, and the key connects to an engine that connects to fuel, that connects to a spark, and the spark turns on the car. So there is a system to turn on your car. different. That's a regular car, and there's electric car. You press a button and the car starts. So there are different ways to turn the key on, and the ignition, the resilience ignition, starts from all the challenges and the problems, and the the obstacles that you have. So that's where you need to focus, that this is my key, that's the ignition. Then you have resilience flywheel. That's a flywheel, that's a six-stage system, and I talk about in the book, on all the different stages. I go in deep. So that's why you need to get the book. It walks you through. And then you have the resilience anchors that allow you to anchor during the whole system when you're going through the journey, so that you're not deviated away and you're able to walk through properly and go through the journey very properly. And then you have the multipliers that help you succeed and multiply. So you surround yourself with people that are smarter and better than you, so you grow better and you challenge yourself. And that's where we if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. You need to go to another room. So that's where you need to think about, okay, am and sometimes your competition can be really helpful. So your competition could be people who provide great insights. And I spell competition with an O, which is co-opetition. So I actually help my competitors get better, and say, listen, you don't have to compete. I can help you, if you want, and that's how we work together. So you're not you may think of competition as competition, but they could be co-opetitors instead of competitors. And when you do that, they can help you get better as well. So there are many ways you can find multipliers. So that's I walk you through that whole system of ground zero to ground 100. And in this book, you'll be able to build your own system with these four key essential stages.
Incredibly motivating, Bimal. And I'm sure that many listeners will be encouraged by how quickly transformation can happen with the right systems and also the right mindset. So thank you. You also introduced something called the five daily architects of resilience. So you know what? I love the term. Can you share what these daily architects are and how entrepreneurs can use them?
So every day we face challenges, and your resilience is not a one-time thing; it's a daily thing, and you need to build it in your DNA. So how do you do that on a daily basis? So these are the five daily architects, and I'll walk you through. So one is the reframing, the cognitive reframing, which we our brain has negative thoughts and positive thoughts. We cannot say that you're 100% positive. Every now and then you're going to get negative thoughts. So cognitive reframing is taking the exact opposite of that negative and finding a way to get from that to the positive. And take your previous examples, previous experience, and see which are some of the worst experiences that you would never want to have again. And that will tell you that in order to do that, what are some of the great experiences that I need to have. So that's cognitive reframing, is you're going the exact opposite of that negative. So you're not saying that don't be negative. You're not trying to say, okay, this is a negative thought, I have to kill it, I have to let it go. You're actually accepting the negativity, and you're taking that negativity, you're saying, okay, how can I convert this negative into positive? You're not walking away from it, you're facing it. You're taking that. So that is cognitive reframing. The second is the mindful hour. So mindful hour is like you need every time, every day, 1 or 2 hours just for yourself, where your physical, emotional, mental, spiritual well-being is taken care of. Your self-love is the most important aspect. Self-care and self-love. You should love yourself, and you should take care of yourself, and you should accept who you are the way you are. And if that requires improvement, you should accept it, that hey, wherever I am, I need improvement physically, I need improvement mentally, I need improvement emotionally, spiritually. Then do it. Don't walk away from it. So that is the mindful hour, that or 2 hours that you need. The third aspect is emotional agility. What I call agility means that you're agile with emotions, meaning that you can actually take your challenges. So whatever brings you down, you don't bring it down. You think, okay, this is a way for me to become better. This is a way for me to face it and turn what makes me weaker into something stronger. So that is, Richard Branson. I share one of the examples in the book. He practices this on a daily basis. He is one of his daily architects, of resilience, where he's gone through so many challenges and he accepts, whatever challenge comes, he converts it into a golden opportunity. Where he sees the complete opposite. So in one of my previous books, I have a funny quote of my own. We have heard all the optimist and pessimist and realist. So, you have a glass of water, and the glass of water is either half full or half empty, or it's half full and it's half air, which is the realist in us. You three can fight over what the water is, half full or half empty. I'm just thirsty and I'm going to drink it, and the one who drinks the water is the one who's going to have the most enjoyment. So be an opportunist and find out where the opportunity is. The strategic opportunist who takes advantage of the opportunist, and takes and moves forward. The third architect is the movement vitality. You need to have movement throughout the day, or when your body moves, your brain grooves. Is one of the things I think Jim Quick used to say it in his podcast, uh, that when you are physical, when you're active, and when you're moving, your actually brain works better. So the movement vitality throughout the day is very, very important. Sometimes, that's why we move to standing desk, and, things that, yes, people even have walking treadmills and, computers they work on. So if you have something that where you have to consistently sit and work, think about where you can structure your workplace into a way where there's some movement, or you take, movement, or you walks or do things that, throughout the day that, you're moving and growing, and then your brain works much better. And the fourth is where you have, learning loop. So, the learning loop, this is the fifth one, sorry, I lost count. So the learning loop is where you consistently learning. We're all a student first. Okay. So we're not, we all love to give advice. Everybody loves to give advice. From the day we learn how to talk and walk, we start giving advice. But you're also a student first. You never stop learning. And the more you approach yourself as a student first, the better you become. And so that's the learning loop where you consistently learn. But applied knowledge is power. Knowledge is not power. There's so many people who have great minds, but they haven't applied what they learn. So if you apply what you know, and you apply more than 80% of what you know, even though you may not be as smart as your best friend or someone who but you have applied what you know, you will be far ahead in life than others. So that those are the five daily architects. We talked about cognitive reframing, emotional agility, mindful hour, learning loop, and movement vitality. Hope that makes sense, and people can, and I walk you through on how to build these as part of your DNA every single day, and you apply it whenever needed.
Thank you, Bimal. And thank you also for this strong reminder that resilience is built through consistent daily action, with also the help of these five daily architects of resilience that you've mentioned: cognitive reframing, mindful hours, emotional agility, um, learning loop, and the other one, the moment. What
Vitality.
was that? Yes. So thank you for breaking that down. And now, let's talk about this money. It's a big area of concern for entrepreneurs. So, how can businesses tap into free resources like grants to help build resilience?
So I do a lot of grants. There are grants that are available for businesses, federal grants, state grants, other project-based grants, and other resources, for nonprofits, and lots of other resources. And I have if there's a link that we have on the show notes today. And there is also, I forgot to mention for everybody who's listening, we have the special, training for resilience. So there's a whole video, 30-minute video that walks you through resilience training and building, which also connects to the concepts in the book. So you can actually, get that video, if you're listening, you in the show notes below, and also the resilience tools that are, in the show notes below. There's also a question there, bit.ly/grants now. You click on that, you will get a quick response back saying that, okay, you qualify for this much in grants and this is how much you can get and here's the next step. So if you would love to explore and see how much grants you can get, because money, you can talk about concepts all day long. At the end of the day, if cash flow and money is a problem, it is a problem, so that needs to be addressed and see how you can overcome that, and what you can do to build that cash flow and financial resources. So that is something I do as well. And there's resources there. And on top of that, for everybody who's listening today, we have $100 Amazon gift card to get the books on Amazon. So get the books on Amazon, take your $100 Amazon gift card, and get all these entire book series from Amazon, because it's a complete soup to nuts system from book 1 to book 13, walk you through step by step, day by day.
Thank you, Bimal. And yes, free money is real. So all you have to do is to take the action, check the show notes right now. And also, thank you for the generous offer, Bimal, for that $100 Amazon gift card. This is so timely, everyone, because book number 12 is from the box. It's now released, I believe, at this moment in time. So thank you, Bimal. And what a powerful conversation we had, from the traffic road to daily resilience habits and even grants to fund your next business breakthrough. Thank you so much, Bimal, for sharing your wisdom and tools with us today.
Thank you very much for having me here, and make yourself a pioneer. And thank you very much, April. You're a pioneer too. Hello, pioneers and entrepreneurs. My name is Bimal Shah. I'm on a mission to make pioneers out of entrepreneurs by helping you achieve your 3-year goal in 1 year that is tied to your 25-year vision and 5-year moonshot. I do it through 90-day leaps and weekly sprints and through my own proprietary 4-leap system. I've also written 13 books, the Becoming a Pioneer series. I've founded the Pioneers Academy, the Pioneers Platform, and several resources that help you on several different platforms: the Thrive platform, Transform platform, and Transcend platform. So these are resources and tools that I built for you to double your business in a year and scale exponentially and become the only one in your business.